It's 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 so beautiful. What I thought I'd give you a look at this. There's about 140 sensors on this. These are Fujifilm sensors. I don't know who actually made them for Fujifilm, but these are from an old point and shoot camera. This are typical sensor size on the cheapy small like $150 point and shoot cameras, and there's absolutely no difference between how this is done, silicon wafer lithography. And one thing I really love doing, and I've already done some macro photography of this, which I'll show you in a second, with this, the X-T3 and the 80mm macro lens. One thing I love doing is doing videos that nobody else is doing on YouTube, especially on the photography end of things. There's no difference between this type of silicon wafer lithography and the same for be it crop sensor or full frame or even medium format. So the only difference, obviously, is the amount of real estate that's taken up on the platter. Now, most things today, I think, are 8-inch platters. I don't know what Sony and Renaissance and Tower Jazz and other sensor manufacturers have standardized as. I think they've all standardized as 8-inch platters, and that's what this is. And these are, of course, pre-cut out, and this is it. It is. And by the way, these are as fragile as a cracker. You could actually drop this onto a carpeted rug. You can see how thin it is. This is the thickness of basically every camera sensor out there. They are fragile, and when you clean your sensor, you're never actually touching it. Look how beautiful it is. This is what we call diffraction. Hashtag diffraction. Sensors are very fragile. I dropped not one of these. I just received this, not from Fujifilm. I found a guy who actually had some defective wafers, which is what this is, 8-inch silicone wafer, and sold me a couple really, really cheap. And I think he's out of them now. But this is what all image sensors look like. And this is exactly how they would look from Sony. This is how they would look from any sensor manufacturer. Some sensors, due to technical reasons, are made on 6-inch wafers. Some are made on 12-inch wafers. Most of them are like this, are made on 8-inch wafers. Obviously, the larger the sensor, the fewer number, which also is part of the cost of medium format and full frame sensors, is you can cram fewer of the sensors, obviously, on the same real estate, right? In the case of these little ass sensors, you can cram like 140 of them. I didn't count them, but there's like 140 on here. But here's, I'll give you a link below. This is a macro shot I just took like 10 minutes ago. Talk about, this lens, by the way, is sharp as piss. The 80mm macro Fujifilm lens, which is the sharpest macro lens in the world. God knows I've got the best. And the 80mm macro Fujis. This is, didn't change the color or anything like this. It's natural diffraction using a speedlight. So that is this exact same wafer I just got done showing you here. So I want to give you a look at what camera sensors look like as they're spit out of the foundry. They would look exactly like this from Sony or anybody else. And obviously the differences in sensor size, and then they would be laser cut. And then of course they'd actually have micro wiring done, and then they'd be placed in a little assembly with a permanent glass cover plate that is hermetically sealed and glued. And then on top of that, you got more filters like the, well, obviously you have the CFA, the color filter, right? But you also have the IR pass filter, or what we call the hot filter. So anytime you clean your sensor, you are not cleaning your sensor, because these are created in ultra clean rooms where you got to take like most of your clothes off and like have vacuums suction every hunk of dust off of you, and then you jump into one of those ultra white suits that covers absolutely everything, and then you stick a mask on. That is where these are made, for obvious reasons. So I thought I'd give you a look at it because it is extra beautiful. This is what we call hashtag nerd porn. Let me repeat that again. Hashtag nerd porn, right? I think you know why. But here you go. There's a lot of point and shoot cameras on this platter. A lot. A lot. But this is what all camera sensors look like as they're spit out of the foundry. And I'm glad to be the first YouTube photography channel, period, that has ever made a video like this. The first one. I like doing stuff like that. So, yep. How many could you jam, like on a medium format 8-inch platter like this? Not phase 1 6x7 sensors, but like GFX sensors. I think you could fit like, I don't know, like 6 sensors. So we do a comparison cost analysis because it takes the same time to make a platter, whether it be tiny little sensors like that. But how many could you crank out? On an 8-inch platter on the GFX medium format, there's probably what on this? 10 or 12 sensors. I think I've been told before by somebody that there's 10 or 11 or 12 sensors, medium format GFX, you could put on an 8-inch platter. Versus like these point and shoot sensors, you get 140. So 140 versus 10 to 12. So that tells you something about one of the reasons for the cost of medium format sensors. And I've been told, even by a Fujifilm executive, that the cost, like someone were to like stab the sensor with a screwdriver, which would be hard to truly damage the sensor, and they had to replace the sensor. Even a Fujifilm USA is charged $2,000 by Japan for the replacement sensor. And it's not just this cut out. It's all the wiring and the infrastructure and the cover glass and the IR hot filter. So there's a lot of glass that actually sits over top of any sensor, whether it be point and shoot, crop sensor, full frame, or medium format. So you just can't stop staring at it. It's like orgasmically beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, hashtag diffraction. Thank you so much for watching. And for the Russians, I'd say S Novym Godom. For everybody else, I'd say Happy New Year's. And yeah, I hope you like these videos. If you do, you could always drop a buck or two below and make an end-of-the-year donation for the poor, tattooed, bald schmuck. And yeah, I can guarantee you one thing I will never spend a donation on, and that is alcohol, because I hate alcohol. I think everybody's going to be getting drunk this New Year's Eve and like partying and stuff like that, and I'm going to be reading and writing and studying. I wish I could actually enjoy a glass of wine, but I can't. My body hates alcohol. It makes me violently sick, so it's hard to relax. And thank you so much. I just can't stop staring at it. I don't know about you. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.